Dear viewers, welcome back to my channel. In this video, we'll be discussing thoroughly the types of communication. Kindly watch the video till the end, like it, share and subscribe the channel. If you already subscribed the channel, kindly ignore the message. If you have any comments about the video, please put your comments in the comment box. Now, let's move to the presentation. Basically, the communication will be classified into several types. Mainly, it will be classified into three types, that is a formal way of communication, informal way of communication, then external communication. Further, the formal communication will be classified into vertical and horizontal, whereas the vertical will be sub-classified into downward and upward communication. Whereas the external communication will be classified into inward and outward. So now let's move to the detailed discussion of these types. Internal communication. As the name itself indicates, it is the communication within an organization. So when the communication takes place among the departments or among the different levels in the same department, it is called as internal communication. Say for example, in an organization, there may be several departments like accounts department, marketing, production, etc. When people working in these departments, when they talk to within their departments or between the departments, such type of communication we call it as internal communication. Then such internal communication will be further classified into two types, that is a formal and informal communication. Now let us see what is this formal communication. When there is a transmission of a message with a hierarchy or the authority and accountability, it is called as formal communication. Say for example, if the Prime Minister issues some instructions or guidelines to the chief ministers of the various states, it comes under formal communication. And in turn, the chief minister will convey certain guidelines or say for example the set of rules to the district collectors. It is also a formal communication. So formal is always with a hierarchy, like maybe manager to his subordinates, or it may be from subordinates to the manager. So when the transmission of the message takes place with the authority or with the hierarchy and accountability, such communication is called as internal communication. To give examples for the internal communication, reports, records, or any other information which provides working knowledge to several other parts of the organization is what is called as formal communication. And such a formal communication is further divided into two types, that is a vertical and horizontal communication. So now let us see what is this vertical and horizontal communication. When the transmission of the message takes place from the top to bottom or vice versa, that is from bottom to top, such type of communication is what is called as vertical communication. It always moves between the subordinates and the superiors. It may flow downward or upward. So such communication is what is called as the vertical communication. And such vertical communication is further classified into two categories, that is one is a downward communication and upward communication. Now let us see what is this downward communication. It is considered as a traditional way of communication. When the information flows from the higher authority to the lower levels, it is called as downward communication. Say for example, the principal may give some instructions to the faculty members. It is called as downward communication. Say when the chief secretary of the government, when provides some information to they provides guidelines to the DCs, it is called as downward communication. And such vertical communication may be of oral and it may be in the form of written messages. So oral, say for example, over the phone, here the superiors may convey certain guidelines or instructions to the people who are working in the lower level. So when the message is conveyed by the words over the phone or face to face, etc., so it is called as oral communication. Whereas the written communication, say for example, when a chief secretary sends a mail to the district commissioner, it is called as written communication. So such such a downward communication may be in the form of orders, instructions, manuals, etc. here. Now let us see certain merits, demerits, and how this downward communication may be made as effective. Now let's look into the merit parts here. So this downward communication helps in fixation of the responsibility. Say for example, when an order is issued by the higher authority to his subordinates to do a particular task, and when it is addressed to the such subordinate and when he puts his signature for the same, it will help in assigning the responsibility. During the course of the working of an organization, the orders are to be issued by the top authority and which are to be complied by the or obeyed by the lower levels. So when it may be in the form of written or it may be in the form of oral here. So this will help in assigning the responsibility to the individuals. Similarly, the downward communication also helps in appreciating the performance of the employees. It is seen in the corporates that at the end of every year, there will be self-appraisal. The self-appraisal will be submitted to the superiors. The superiors, they may, based on the performance made by the employee, they may order for the hike in the salary of the employees. So this helps in appreciation of the performance made by the employees. Then this downward communication helps in introducing the policies of the organization or the programs to the subordinates. Say for example, every corporate, they conduct induction program for the newly appointed employees. Similarly, in the colleges, for the first year students, an orientation program may be held wherein the policies of the institution will be discussed thoroughly, and it will also provide the facilities available in the college or the institution. So when the newly appointed employees, they must be given a guidance with respect to the how they should behave in an organization, what they are supposed to do in discharging their responsibility. So all these guidelines will be issued by the top level executives. Then this downward communication also helps in emphasizing the role of the employees. Always employees are considered as the asset to an organization. When they discharge their responsibility properly, then only the organization can reach to its height. It can achieve its goals. So in order to emphasize the role of employees here, the downward communication plays a vital role, a predominant role in the organization. This downward communication helps to motivate the employees in order to realize the goals of an organization. So by providing the instructions, by providing the manuals, or by providing the issuing the certain orders here, this will help in emphasizing the role of the employees. Now let's look into the other face of the coin, that is demerits. This downward communication delays or dilute the transmission of the message. Say for example, when it is to be transmitted from the higher authority, and if there is a longer chain of the hierarchy, it leads to a delay of the message and it leads to dilution of the message. Then the next one comes here, it leads to failure of the purpose. So as it involved a longer chain here, the order, when it reaches to the last man in an organization, it will be taken away. So sometimes this downward communication will not serve the purpose of the communication. Then this downward communication will also hinder for development. For every now and then, they need to seek the lower level employees or the subordinates. They have to seek the permission from their higher authorities, and this sometimes this may delay the decision making in an organization, and in result, it leads to the hindrance for the development of an organization. Now let us see how this downward communication can be made as more effective in an organization. Delegation of the authority. When the authorities are delegated among the subordinates, and this helps in taking an immediate decision according to the consequences. Presently it is seen that the pandemic is going on, and the chief minister has given the authority to the district commissioners to take the necessary action according to the situations in the respective districts, whether to say, for example, to lock down or to provide some hours for purchase of the essential goods, etc. It is all now decided by the district commissioner, looking into the state of the affairs of the respective district. So when the authority is delegated here, it leads to an immediate decision making. They need not wait for the higher authorities' approval. Then a transmission through proper channel. When the communication is transmitted by the proper channel here, then others will consider this as the order and they will obey the orders. And it provides adequate information. When an order is issued, it will contain the adequate information as it is transmitted from the higher authorities. Say, for example, in order to control this pandemic, many SOPs, the standard operating procedures, are issued by the government. The government, before issues such order, it will mobilize the information and it is going to transmit the same thing to the general public through the SOPs. Now, let's move to the upward communication. As the name itself indicates, upward, to go forward. So when the information flows from the lower level to the higher level, it is called as upward communication. It is a style of participatory management because all are taken into consideration before taking certain decisions. Say, for example, when the college remits information to the university, it is nothing but the upward communication. For example, the number of the students admitted for each course may be sent by the colleges to the university. It is upward communication. Such upward communication, it involves suggestions, grievances, appeals, etc. here. It is used for submission of the performance reports to the higher authorities, then the compliance of the instructions. Now let us see certain merits of this upward communication. It leads to welfare of the organization. The upward communication helps in understanding the problems faced by the employees in an organization, and thereby it leads to take certain decisions when through the employees meetings. The constructive suggestions of the employees promote the welfare of an organization. The immediate feedback is possible in case of this upward communication. It will be more effective because the employees are conveying their problems to the higher authorities and they may find some solutions to their problems. So this provides a proper feedback, and in turn it will help in a decision making by the organization. It leads to congenial environment in an organization. The employees can express their emotions in front of the management. This helps in developing the unity in the work environment. So the problems will be addressed by the higher authorities, and those problems will be solved and it leads to enhancement in the production as well, so which ultimately leads to the growth of an organization. Then cordial relationship. It leads to cordial relationship between the employees and the employer. So whenever the employer has got some problems, the employees will come to the rescue of such problems. Similarly, when the employees are under the problems, then even the management can also provide some should frame the employees pro policies, so which will help in developing a cordial relationship between the management and the employees. Now let us see the other facet of the point, that is demerit. Lack of initiation. Sometimes the employees may not initiate the discussion. They may feel that if they speak anything during such meetings here, it may have an adverse impact. So usually employees are reluctant to initiate upward communication. Only a few will speak where the others will keep mum. So this will not serve the purpose in such case. And sometimes the ego of the superiors may not permit the subordinates to express their opinion, and for that reason here it becomes ineffective. Even it may lead to adverse impact on the employees also. Employees often may feel that if they communicate their problems to the superiors, it may have adverse impact on their own efficiency. So here, because of the mindset of the subordinates in an organization, it may not be fruitful. Even say, for example, during the students' meetings convened by the student council in the colleges or the universities, all the students will not come with the proper problems. They will not initiate the discussion. They will not be the part of the discussions, and as a result of that, it leads to failure. Now let us see what are the measures to be taken in order to make this upward communication as more effective. Open door policy. The management must keep its door open to the employees, so that the employees should feel to express their opinions about the policies of the organization. Even say, for example, before finalizing the budget, the government may invite the opinions of the public on the budget. So when open door policies are followed, the employees can express their problems and they also come with some solutions to their problems, so that it will ease the job of the management. Then social gatherings. Social gatherings are must in a corporate world, wherein employees will be mixed up with all other authorities without the authority and their level in an organization. The company should arrange such get-together once in a year. This creates a unity among the employees. During such occasions, everyone will mix up with other irrespective of their positions. Then Ombudsman. Ombudsman is an official who receives and looks into the complaints of the employees against the higher authorities. He is an official mediator between the employer and employees to smoothen the upward communication. Counseling. Today's work has become so much stress. People have to come out of the stress as they need to reach their targets. It's a method to solve the problems of the employees during the counseling sessions. The manager makes the employees to share their problem with an open mind, and some solutions can be found for such problems, and which will ultimately reduce the stress of the employees. So today counseling centers are established in the corporates as well as even in the colleges and the universities. So this counseling will provide with respect to the it may be like in the form of career counseling or maybe like a personal counseling. So that will provide the an opportunity to the employees or the students in a university to improve where they are lacking. Now let's move to the horizontal communication. It is the communication between the same level in the managerial hierarchy. In other words, to say, when the communication takes place between the departments or people of the same level in the managerial hierarchy of an organization, it may be termed as a horizontal or a lateral communication. In such communication, there is a freedom of expression. The employees of one department are sharing their opinions about the policies of the organization with the other people who are working in the same organization. There is a teamwork with healthy discussions so that it will lead to, say, for example, achieving the organizational goals. Memos, letters, reports are the forms of the horizontal communication. Now let us see the merits. It leads to proper cooperation and coordination among the employees who are working for the same organization. Here, the person working in one department freely expresses his opinion with the other person who is working in the another department, or between the two departments of the same who are working the same positions. And here there is no say the superiority complex among the employees. Say for example, the members of the faculty of one faculty freely talking to the faculty members of other faculty here. So this will lead to a harmonious relationship among the employees, and it creates an understanding and trust among the employees and among the various departments, as there is a freedom of expression. Again, there is a problem with this horizontal communication is that employees, they do not take initiation, and as a result of that, it leads to failure of the communication. And it also increases the rivaling attitude among the various people of the various departments. Sometimes the top level may be treating the one department, they may be patronizing the efficient department, and they may not be patronizing the inefficient department. In such a case, it leads to rivalry among the various departments here. And it also leads to interdepartmental conflict. Say for example, a particular department has availed the many facilities from the top management, whereas the another may not availing the same thing. Or say for example, when one of the employees is sanctioned with leave and where another is denied of the leave, it leads to the conflict among the people, so that again it will harm the relationship among the employees also. Now let us go for the informal or the grapevine in communication. This type of communication does not have any set of lines for transmission nor definite rules, but it spreads like a wildfire. There is a rapid spread of the message in an organization. Of course, it is a channel of horizontal communication only. It is a casual form of information sharing typically used in the personal conversation with the friends or family members in a business environment. When people meet together, they may talk officially and they may talk unofficially certain things about the organization. The grapevine is basically it's a channel of horizontal communication. It is of people working at the same level of hierarchy who can informally communicate with one another with perfect ease. There is no any boundary of authority. There is no ego clash in such type of communication. Now let us see what are the merits of this type of communication. It is an alternative way to communicate. So when all the channels of communication leads to a failure, and the best option, the best alternative option is nothing but the informal way of communication. It provides a psychological relief to the people. See, assume that when a person has been shared with the secret things, unless he share the same secret things with the other person, he will not get psychological relief. So when it is shared with other member, it leads to the, say for example, the reducing the stress of holding that message in the mind of the employee. This informal communication provides an immediate feedback. So the top level authorities, when in order to achieve certain things here, they may go for this channel of communication, and thereby they get immediate feedback from the employees. It improves the relationship between the management and the labor also, because when during the course of informal communication, several things can be discussed. Not only of the personal, along with the officials also, matters can also be discussed, and they may get some information from the lower level of the employees. Then the next problem here is that it leads to distortion of the message. The message will be conveyed from mouth to mouth. During the course of the transmission, the main purpose may be lost, and as a result of that, it leads to dilution of the message, and which will harm the organization. Not reliable information. This informal communication will not provide any adequate and reliable information, and as a result of that, the things will not get progressed in an organization, and it causes huge damage to the organization, as it leads to the bluffing of the things. The rumors, gossips are the part of this type of communication, and as a result of that, it may cause some damage to the organization. Misunderstanding and the conflicts will take place because of the incomplete message, and the information is not at all reliable, and as a result of that, people will take it for granted, and they work at their own wish and will, and as a result of that, it leads to the disturbances in the organization. The next one comes here, the external communication. As the name itself indicates, when the communication takes place with the outside organization, it is called as external communication. Say for example, when the communication takes between the government and the universities, or between the government and the schools and colleges, it is a type of external communication. Such external communication is further classified into two categories, that is inward and outward. So normally when the letter is received by an organization, it is called as the inward communication. When it writes something to other organization, it is called as outward here. The communication with the customers, potential customers, suppliers, investors, shareholders, and with the society is called as external communication. Say for example, when a corporate conducts a market survey in order to know the perception of the customers about a product, it is nothing but the channel of external communication. So the external communication is always with the outsiders. So such communication, what we call it as external communication. Even the corporates, they may conduct the meetings of the shareholders to bring something new in an organization, or it may be with respect to the discussion of the declaration of the dividend. And even the external communication may also take place in the society also. Say for example, every corporate has got its social responsibility. In order to discharge social responsibility, it may be part of certain social events. Say for example, today many corporates they have come for supply of oxygen to the patients who are suffering from this pandemic, and at the same time some of the corporates, they may engage themselves in say for example the distribution of the masks to the people, or say for example some people, they may go for donating certain funds to the for the social events. So all these, they are considered as external communication. Thank you for watching this video.